on ESPN featuring the Big East and ACC. Game 1 from Providence matches first-year head coach Rick Barnes and the surprising 13-1 Friars against Georgetown. The catalyst for PC, the backcourt tandem of Carlton Screen and Esherick Murdoch. John Thompson and the Hoyas are 12-1, but Coach Thompson continues his protest against Proposal 42. One who will be there is freshman swatter Alonzo Mourning, who leads the nation in block shots and can score underneath as well. Game 2 comes from the Duke Zoo at Cameron Indoor Stadium, featuring the fierce rivalry between neighbors North Carolina and Duke. Dean Smith is hungry for revenge after losing all 3 games to Duke last season. J.R. Reed is back to his All-American form after sitting out with a foot injury. Duke remains on a roll, 13-0, #1 in the nation. When you think teamwork, you begin with the Blue Devils. Concern, however, is Danny Ferry's back spasms may prevent him from being 100%. The ACC and Big East tonight on ESPN.
Welcome to the 24th meeting between the Hoyas and the Friars. Georgetown comes in ranked number 3. They're 12-1 overall, 2-1 in the Big East. There are the standings in the Big East. The importance of tonight's game is obvious then. If the Hoyas win, there's a tie atop the Big East standings. But these headlines across the nation's newspapers all week long. John Thompson, of course, boycotting the game on Saturday against Boston College and this game tonight, upset because of Proposition 42. Vocal support by John Chaney of Temple, Clem Haskins of Minnesota, and a whole lot of others. Hi again, everybody. I'm Jim Kelly. Bill Raftery is alongside. Let's go back to Saturday night. The Hoyas crushed Boston College without their coach, John Thompson. What did we learn, Bill? Are the Hoyas maybe on the brink of becoming a national power even without the coach?
I think you learned John's a pretty good coach. A lot of preparation in practice. They know exactly what he would like. I think the real pressure is on the assistants now, Mike Riley and Craig Esherick, to do what John would do during the game and how they react at the end of the game. That's when they'll miss John the most.
All right. Well, earlier this week, our Chris Fowler had a chance to sit down with the Hoya head coach, and John Thompson was asked if his team would suffer at all.
Well, if it hurts the team on the court, it has to do that. There's some things that are worth some other things. I think that, you know, I have attended the practices. The only thing that I have not done is gone to the ball game. You know, we have looked at film together. I have prepared the team for the next opponent, and at that point, I feel very confident.
Well, Bill, you were head coach at Seton Hall. You know, a team reflects the personality of its coach. How much will the Hoyas miss John Thompson?
Well, this cause is bigger than the game, and I'm sure the players feel the same way. So I think they'll support John by the way they play. I'm looking for a big game from the Hoyas.
All right. Ironically, the Providence Friars have had a pressure-free week because of the absence of John Thompson. Ordinarily, all the talk would be, how do you prepare for Georgetown? But with the big guy gone, the question is, when is he coming back? And the Providence Friars have enjoyed a pressure-free week.
Well, Rick Barnes can relax a little until a few minutes from now, and you got to think of the key, getting the ball inside. I think Marty Conlon or some other forward has to step up. So Marty has to fake and pump, and you're going to see Mourning standing there waiting.
All right, how about for Georgetown? What are the keys to their winning?
This is going to be one of the great ones. For folks who haven't seen him before, he can dominate a game. They're going to have a stat called hurries by the end of his career. I think offensively they'll go to him. I think Providence has to go down and help out.
Can you hear yourself?
A little bit. It's going to get louder.
It's noisy. The crowd will be a factor. It's a sellout crowd here in Providence. Maybe the intangible they'll need if they're to upset the Hoyas here tonight. Right now, let's go back to the studio and our host, John Saunders.
Okay, thanks a lot, Jim and Bill. It is the Georgetown Hoyas against Providence. The Hoyas ranked 3rd in the nation. They're 12-1, 2-1 in the Big East. Providence at 13-1 and 3-1 in the Big East, off to one of their best starts ever. Coming up at halftime, we'll hear the rest of that interview from John Thompson in depth as he talks about Proposal 42 and why he would like to see it taken off the books. We'll also hear from the athletic director at Oklahoma State University, Myron Roderick. They voted for Proposal 42, and they may have changed their mind. Stay with us. There's more to come as well because we have a doubleheader tonight. North Carolina goes up against #1 Duke in the ACC, but the Big East is coming up next.
At the Providence Civic Center in Providence, Rhode Island, another big battle in the Big East. The Georgetown Hoyas and the Friars of Providence. The introduction of tonight's starting lineups. Here's Ray Bagley.
For the Hoyas of Georgetown, playing at guard, a 6'2" junior from New Orleans, Louisiana, number 12, Wayne Bryant. For the Friars of Providence, playing at guard, 6-foot junior from Brooklyn, New York, number 11, Carlton Screen. For the Hoyas of Georgetown, playing at guard, a 6'1" senior from Washington, D.C., number 13, Charles Smith. For the Friars of Providence, playing at guard, a 6'2" sophomore from Bridgewater, New Jersey, number 14, Eric Murdoch. For the Hoyas of Georgetown, playing at center, a 6'10" freshman from Chesapeake, Virginia, number 33, Alonzo Mourning. The Friars of Providence, playing at center, a 6'10" junior from Bronxville, New York, number 30, Marty Conlon. For the Hoyas of Georgetown, playing at forward, a 6'4" senior from New Orleans, Louisiana, number 21, Jaron Jackson. For the Friars of Providence, playing at forward, a 6'3" senior from Worcester, Mass, number 22, Matt Palazzi. For the Hoyas of Georgetown, playing at forward, a 6'7" sophomore from Glen Arden, Maryland, number 52, John Turner. For the Friars of Providence, playing at forward, a 6'5" senior from Dayton, Ohio, number 21, Cal Foster. The coach of the Hoyas, Craig Esherick. The coach of the Friars, Rick Bonds. The officials for tonight's game.
So the stage is set. The Hoyas 2-1 in the Big East. Providence 3-1 in the Big East. We'll be back with a tip-off in just a moment. The only loss for the Hoyas to Seton Hall, and for Providence, their only loss last Saturday to Villanova.
Traditionally, the shooting percentage that Georgetown holds the opposition to is around 40. Just a tribute to their activity defensively.
6'10", Alonzo Mourning, the outstanding freshman. Marty Conlon, 6'10", the junior. And we're just about set to jump it up. A sellout crowd. You talk about a tough ticket.
Seldom do I see you turn anybody down.
Seldom do I see you not able to come up with a couple of ducats for your friends, but this was a tough one. Here we go. The Hoyas minus their head coach, John Thompson. Rick Barnes, first year at Providence. Tip is up. Smith has it slapped away.
Jim, an old-fashioned set play out of the gate. To the point with the tap, and then the wingman filling Charles Smith. Pretty good defensive reaction.
Jackson will take it inbound. Palazzi on him.
Man-to-man. Jim, you'll see a lot of this, and you'll see a lot of scraping when it goes inside, depending where it goes in from.
Smith.
Up and down.
Rebound, Turner.
That's where they're in trouble.
3 misses, and Turner comes down with a 4th offensive board.
Great effort by Georgetown.
Screen, one-on-one.
Can't keep giving those up, Providence.
Nice dish to Foster, 6-footer. Conlon with a rebound, and 2.
Well, with Alonzo reacting to block the shot, you might get some weak side rebounds as Conlon did. Good dish.
Smith sets up Turner. Smith gets it down, tries to go inside. Rejection in Providence the other way. Foster down low, nice pass.
Oh.
Rejected by Mourning. Behind the back goes Smith. Against Palazzi, Bryant has it slapped away.
Providence will not give up on anything. They'll deflect from the rear. In that case, a deflected shot from the back.
3-point try, yes, by Eric Murdoch.
Eric will set up, and you'll see Carlton Screen deliver it together as a combo. They may be the best combo in the league. That's saying a lot.
Smith left side. Mourning against Foster. And the freshman draws the foul.
Cal just overzealous as he reached down. If you're Georgetown, you've got to feel pretty good, though. If they're going to give Alonzo the ball right here, he's going to do a lot of damage. The second thought, they can't keep giving up those offensive follows. They're going to get destroyed. Providence.
First time Georgetown took it down. 4 offensive rebounds by the Hoyas, but no points.
No.
Mourning to the line. A 67% free throw shooter. And Georgetown now still has failed to score.
Both clubs, in a sense, like to go after you. Full court pressure, trap, rotate, change the look. Let's see if Georgetown does it after the free throw.
So the Hoyas are on the board with their first point at the 18:24 mark.
This could start Providence running. Bad pass.
Bryant on the wing.
Good screen by Murdoch. Good look.
Screen, foul.
From the rear. Now, Georgetown should be used to this type of game because they practice against it every day. They're used to the running, the pressing. Here, the release by Screen as he read the shot. And not good reaction then defensively.
And nice replay there. Did you notice the way Carlton was guarding the ball as he went up?
Protecting. Of course, the made free throws now give Providence an opportunity to set up their pressure.
Shamsuddin checks in, 25, the 6'10 junior out of Staten Island. Cal Foster gets a rest. There's Carlton's screen. It's a little bit like Arsenio Hall, isn't it?
A little bit. You mentioned that earlier in the day.
When he was smiling at practice this morning, I was kidding him about it. He said, yeah, that's my nickname.
His dad went to school with Billy Cunningham and Lou Chaffel, the Miami. And right there you see the seat and the tribute to John Thompson with the towel. Neither Mike Riley or Craig Esherick sitting on it. Very nice touch.
7-1 Providence.
Marty Conlon just shoved John Turner, and Timmy Higgins doing the right thing, saying leave the hands alone, just play.
And the Providence press.
Touch foul. The feet touch Charles Smith enough to cause the turnover. It's a nickel dime foul, but one that causes a turnover, so you have to call it.
You weren't crazy about the call. You started to rip your headset off.
No, you like to see a real foul like that. Just a bump enough to cause the turnover, so it is a foul. The man, everybody trying to help out down. You see screen down now?
Mourning against Shamsuddin. Good job by Abdul. Timmy Higgins says it goes over to Georgetown.
Now, Alonzo, a little test early. He's being doubled up. If he can recognize as he's trapped, he can find some open people. The collapsing defense effective that time. Now he's got to turn and kick it out.
Three men drop down on Mourning down low for 3.
Good tip to himself there by Turner.
3-on-1 at the Friars. Hurry, Murdoch is free. 9-1.
Nice look here. Jaren Jackson.
Georgetown's rattled.
Smitty's missed some open shots, though. He'll get it back.
Screen dishes off to Conlon. Conlon wanted it back out to Murdoch. Murdoch for 3. Shamsuddin loses it to Bryant.
Good look here.
Turner against screen.
Pretty. Turner's shown his ability. Great look. Dwayne Bryant, the point guard in this set. I think Charles Smith's had some makeable shots, though.
Alazi.
They'll do a lot of screening out top. Can't leave him alone.
Alazi hits the rim. Slap to Smith. Jackson against screen. Down low. Spins into Alazi and the offensive foul.
May have been steps before. That was a rattle play right there. You didn't need it. Should have fan dribbled. Should have given it to Bryant and or Charles Smith. Look at this. That won't get you far, will it?
53% for the season tonight, 1 out of 10. Wouldn't matter if John Thompson was here if you're shooting 10%.
Well, there is a relaxing effect when the head man is around. Providence has to be careful. A good run early. They may dissipate, may lose some energy now. They've got to keep that level, maintain it. Little back screens low. They'll use the high guy. for a pick and roll and as the catalyst on the offense. He can make that.
For three. Conlon again. He's got 5.
6'10". That makes it tough for Mourning. Steps. We got the right call. Great
Listen to the crowd. We talked about the crowd being emotional. There they are. 16:07 left to go in the first half. It's been all Providence.
On January 22nd, Bud Bull won. This time, it's for real.
There's your time left in the first half. It's been all the Friars. They led it 7-1.
Well, the rule on this club is if you're ahead and he can lead to a basket, they'll give it up to Murdoch, and Screen does it beautifully. Other than that, they'll settle on the sideline, give it to Murdoch for the 3.
The man in the glasses, Craig Esherick, the acting head coach, a 4-year letterman for John Thompson. He's taken over for the head man this game because he scouted Providence.
Alternating coaches. Little post up by Conlon after the double low.
Screen has it slapped away.
He was looking at the referee. I used to have a kid do that. He gave more passes to the referee than he did our teammates.
Rick Barnes, head coach for the Friars in his first year. Off to a great beginning.
Fairy tale, isn't it? Very composed, though. He knows he's got a long road ahead, but they are playing great basketball for him. Look at this.
Mourning has it rejected by Shamsuddin.
And company. There were a few people around there. Good test for Alonzo now in the sense that playing within himself, he's going to have a lot of people. This is going to happen a lot, I'm afraid. A lot of nights he won't have much fun, but he can help them win just as well. Chris Watson, the ball game at the point.
Shamsuddin off the iron, a big rebound by Turner. Outlet pass, and quickly they go the other way. Bryant dishes down low for 3.
Well, they had good shots earlier, just weren't making them. They weren't able to.
Now they say it was only for 2.
Yeah, he was just inside it. He had Charles Smith on the other wing. You're gambling when you're playing Georgetown's type of game. I mean, they can get it going. I think they're shooting the ball much better this year, particularly outside. Tough pass from the point to the box as Conlon tried to shape up.
Shamsuddin sits down. Palazzi sits down. Wright checks in. Number 41, Darrell Wright, the 6'5 senior out of New York City.
Pretty good save. That was way over John Turner's head.
Bryant pulls up short.
Pretty.
Oh, what a dish to Mourning inside, and what a steal down low. Rick Barnes told us at practice this morning they were going to pack it into the paint.
They have. Nice pump fake. You can't just go up with Alonzo.
Screen, free. Conlon.
Scrappy. Frenetic play.
Conlon's got 7.
What they do best, some debris on the floor. Providence likes to get after it. They're setting up their press now. Today, Rick Barnes said they're going to be more passive in it to make Georgetown use the clock. However, they haven't done that. They've just let him go over the top and, of course, started a fast break for them.
Milton Bell at John Marshall High School in Richmond checks in for the Georgetown Hoyas. They're behind by 9, 14-10 left to go.
Good diagonal pass. They got the break going. Shouldn't have let him. Not a good pass.
Smart play by Conlon there. Rather than going for the ball, he stepped in between the ball and Mourning.
Good trap right here. Both clubs, they rotate in the half-court area and step in, and here's why these presses work, huh?
Winston against Screen.
So stealing is reaction and position, and both these teams do it well. It's got to be drilled. Stack set. Alonzo's going to make a quick move or kick it. So he's going to get it. Steps. Good call.
Steps. He was halfway to Boston.
A little extra. Craig looking at Mike saying, maybe you ought to take over right now, Mike. Here's the extra one. You'll see the step-ins trying to pick up the charge by Providence. And, of course, the officials have to recognize whether it's true. or false.
Georgetown has turned the ball over now 7 times so far. 16.5 left first half. Wright was free. Dishes. Conlon misses the easy one. Mourning pulls it down.
Too close for Marty, huh? He likes the deep one.
Off the rim. Foster pulls down the three-point try.
Boy, they react to the backcourt on offense in transition beautifully. They had numbers on the rebound, didn't take advantage.
Conlon spins against Mourning, gets it out to Wright.
Look at this kick for the threes.
Screen on the paint.
Look at the mark. Oh.
Foul on number 30. Marty Conlon is first.
They don't have the size, Providence, to compete with Georgetown, but active pursuit. This is an area where they don't perform very well, but tonight so far they are. Strong on the glass and underneath. Marty has a tendency to push those hands out and get the cheapie.
12:55 left to go. 14-5. It's been all Providence.
Dikembe Mutumbo.
Out of Zaire. Sadler, 55, in for the Friars. The 8th turnover against Georgetown.
Now this is a tough spot. You can't run the baseline because they didn't match up on Wright. Got it in easily.
Mutumbo draws the foul.
Eric Murdoch is very good at getting a body and then holding the man and releasing as well as getting the foul. Pretty good shot blocker. Next to Mourning, second on the club. But right here, you'll see the lean left just to make sure there is contact and then the hold. And that doesn't come easy. It's a lot of work.
The 6'2 sophomore out of Bridgewater, New Jersey, an 81% free throw shooter.
He's got a couple of cousins that are going to Villanova. One there, one going. So the bloodline's pretty good. Bridgewater, Raritan.
Averaging 16 points and 5 rebounds a game. 1 for 2 from the line. He's got 6 points on the night. Friars lead it by 10.
Little zone now with Alonzo out of the game.
And remember what Rick Barnes told us this morning, only 8 times all year, if that, have the Friars used the zone.
He thinks at the end of the year he may have to use more. Now with this lineup, I think they can get some pen. Look at this, the release. Oh, would you love to play in this situation?
Eric Murdoch was 7, the biggest lead up to 12.
Rick Barnes lets them go. He has confidence in his shooting ability.
Tillman free down the paint. Georgetown forcing their shots a little bit. It started early in the very first minute. Here's Bell with an easy one.
Great effort on the save. Yes, they are. I do think they can penetrate a little more with this lineup because they don't have the big guy being concentrated on.
Murdoch. Oh, what a pass by Murdoch, setting up Foster.
Zone will make Georgetown be a little more patient. Might favor them, believe it or not. Not a good one there.
Bad shot by Tillman from the left corner. Screen brings it down. Right.
They set up on the line. Look at this.
Murdoch bombs away, misses, and a nice rebound by Sadler. Bad shot.
Didn't need that.
Rejection on Wright's shot inside.
I'll tell you, Darryl Wright may have gotten away with an offensive foul, but you can see Mutumbo keeping his position and then negating the attempt.
11:04 left to go in the first half. A sellout crowd on their feet. The Friars lead it by 12. Hey, we got a great night of basketball for you here on ESPN. Our Big East game is followed by #1 Duke against North Carolina. And we'll have the Tar Heels of Dean Smith and J.R. Reed up against Mike Krzyzewski and Danny Ferry. What a great night of hoops here on ESPN.
They've been setting up for days looking for tickets. And I don't envy Craig Esherick and Mike Riley. The boss not here. Some judgments have to be made. He came back with the starting group. Maybe a wise move. Not an easy job trying to fill the void.
Well, we talked about it at lunch. That's one of the keys. Maybe the difference of a pattern as far as substituting.
Yes. Bad turnover in the open floor normally leads to a goal.
Charlie Smith with his first 2 on the night.
Palazzi has to value the ball a little bit better.
to a 10-point Georgetown deficit. Jackson tripped him.
Rick Barnes felt he was going to have to go against Georgetown. What exactly brought him here? And that's pushing the ball, taking the threes, and pressuring. He's had a lot of people influence him in his lifetime. Joe Harrington, told you a few other, right?
Wimp Sanderson in Alabama, Gary Williams, of course. How about calling Charlie Spoonhour at Southwest Missouri and saying, how do you guard the Hoyas? He talked to him twice this week.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Palazzi for three.
Right back.
Jackson fade away.
Still may be the best. Before the scorer or the timer puts the numbers up, they got it back. Georgetown, extraordinary. They get a steal at the end of this. Good play. Alonzo Mourning got a piece of it. Jaren Jackson cleaned it up.
Little run here by the Hoyas. Jackson thinks about it. Forces it in the paint. Puts it up. Two more. Jackson with 6.
Press has been extremely effective of late. I think they're doing a good job rotating and getting back in this ball game. I think it's going to boil down to the half court.
Beautiful pass by Wright.
What a gamble, too. That's confidence.
First 2 for Abdul Shamsuddin. Winston has it slapped away, and the foul down there, a holding foul called on Sadler.
Isn't it incredible how they can go to half court, Georgetown, with a baseball pass, and all of a sudden have a layup at the other end? That doesn't come just by happenstance. It's continual. Pushing the ball in practice, making sure your guys know how to catch it and speed dribble.
Marty Conlon, number 30, checks back in. He's got 7 points, including 1 3-pointer. 9:22 left to go, first half. Oh, what a shot by Smith. He's got 4.
Charles Smith can take over with the penetration. He didn't make the open jumper early. You may see more of that to keep, of course, the defense a little bit honest, having them play Mourning so well.
Conlon from outside.
One 3-1.
Providence taking the air out of the ball a little bit. They lead it 24-15. Shot clock says 15.
2-3 now.
Palazzi for 3 more.
Georgetown has to make sure they tag the outside people. I would go right up. Nice play by Charles. Hesitation. Bang, explode.
Charlie Smith with 6. 8.5 left. The 10-point lead for the Friars. Conlon free in the paint. Easy one. Oh! Goaltending. What do you think?
Oh, that was a good call, but I love it. That'll make them think a little bit later.
Alonzo Mourning came down from the rafters.
He had blocked the shot earlier and kept it in play to the foul line. Soft hands with the block. Good call, but interestingly enough, I don't think I'd like to go back under.
The freshman is 6'10".
There's the double up now. He's got to recognize.
Foster tips it to Conlon.
See, Georgetown will go back to him. He's got to let it clear, kick it out, and then let him come back.
Conlon gets Mourning to leave his feet.
That extra pass they make this club. Pump fake, set up.
Palazzi gives it right to Mourning. Bryant wants to dig.
Good non-call. Boy, they put pressure. Georgetown, a push, and an individual ability.
Bryant's first 2 on the night. Down to a 10-point lead again. Palazzi goes right around Mourning. Intimidation factor right there.
He's trying to do it all now. Matty's got to play within himself.
Bryant, screen with a good play, slaps it out of bounds. Touched last by the Friars.
Wild.
7:24 left to go. Providence 29, Georgetown 19. We take a timeout. There's our score here in Providence. The Friars leading the Hoyas by 10. Don't forget, coming up next, it'll be Dick Vitale, Mike Patrick. They'll have #1 Duke against North Carolina. What a showdown. Danny Ferry and J.R. Reed.
Well, all of that, very impressive. And an ingredient that you can't see there, the impact of Rick Barnes on his guards and on his total team.
Great guard play by the Friars. For three from outside off the iron, no good. Conlon slaps it over to number 14, Eric Murdoch. Keys it down to Wright.
Pretty.
Oh! Eric Wright with 9.
Now, Jim, normally Georgetown's able to gamble and put 4 and 5 people on the glass. Providence makes you pay by sneaking somebody long. They've had at least 3 breakaways.
Tried to force it inside to Mourning, and that's what packing in the paint. That's what they practiced all week long. 4 men guarding Mourning inside. Conlon, oh, didn't even look.
Conlon able to make some moves earlier, the look away, much like a guard, and you see the fist. Great look. Mourning recognizing, pretty good recovery.
Up to a 14-point lead, the biggest of the night.
When you think of driving the basketball, Timmy Higgins saying somebody was in the lane. When normally you drive, draw people, and kick it off. Rick Barnes calls it pull. Conlon didn't dribble, but he pulled the defense and then dished it underneath. Good look.
Rick Barnes calls it pull and kick.
Yep.
In a different era, you used to call it drive, draw, and dish.
Well, that's what happens when you get gray hair.
Smith.
Pretty.
Right now, Charles Smith keeping the Hoyas in the game with his drive.
Take charge, guy.
8 points for Charlie. Wright backs it off.
You don't make the Olympic team if you don't have terrific ability and, of course, leadership qualities. That's what Charles brings to this program.
Speaking of the Olympic team, John Thompson criticized for putting Alonzo Mourning on the team early on, but after about a week, everybody said he belonged there.
All the coaches I talked to loved him out at the trials. Performed beautifully. Terrific talent.
Charles Smith has hit his last 4 shots for the Georgetown Hoyas. There is the freshman number 33, Alonzo Mourning, out of Indian River High School.
Here's the contain now. They're really not looking to steal. They stepped out of bounds. I believe the contained pressure is to rest the people while they're in the game for Rick Barnes. Both Screen and Murdoch play a lot of minutes and really go full tilt, so they needed some time off.
Georgetown with 10 turnovers. Mourning slaps away the shot by Screen. A 3-on-1 for Georgetown. Smith has hit 5 in a row. He's got 10.
And a little woofing going on, too. That ball may have been on the way down, hit the glass and came down. But you're up there so often, very difficult to spot Alonzo Mourning.
Good battle in down low against Shamsuddin. Right. Shamsuddin against Mourning, and the rebound. Turner off to Smith. He's hot.
He does a lot with that ball. Pulls it in. And yes.
Oh!
Oh!
12 points for Charles Smith. He's hit his last 6 shots, and he draws the foul.
Nothing special. Not a diagram. This is a confidence a coach has in a player. Between the legs. Yank it back. And now a little dipsy. Hang and deliver. Ooh. Is he taking this game over for Georgetown?
The 6'1" senior out of All Saints High School in Washington, an 81% free throw shooter.
I've heard them say in the Georgetown program he came in as a defensive player. He kept proving them wrong that he could play some offense.
He's hit the last 13 points.
This is absolutely a terrific game to be played in. Can you picture yourself out there? A lot of individual play, able to tee it up when you think you've got the shot. And a lot of unselfish play on both parts. Motion there, a lot of movement.
Murdoch down low, Shamsuddin returns it.
So they shouldn't even go in and help down there at Georgetown.
Shamsuddin over Mourning. He's got 4. Look how quickly Turner brings it back.
Before the clock strikes 10, Georgetown retaliates. But I would stay at home on the Providence guards. I wouldn't go down Let the big guys play their own people. Stay on the home run shooting. Conlon with a bad foul. Lifted the shoulder. Bryant, intelligent to attract the attention by falling to the floor as well.
Conlon had something to say to Timmy Higgins. 4:34 left in the first half, and really that 14-point lead for the Friars sliced in half, down to 7.
Again, you dissipate when you go out of the gate like they did. It's tough to maintain that fine level of play against a premier team like this.
A reminder, don't go away. Number 1, Duke, up against North Carolina, coming up after our game.
Jimmy Higgins got it right. Bad pass there. Not typical Bobby Winston play. Excellent assist, man, particularly against zones. Look at this guy. Oh.
Got his own rebound and put it back up. He didn't take time to reload.
Passed it to himself. Oh, what?
How quick is Carlton's screen?
Great use of the left hand.
6 points for Carlton. Nice dish. Turner. Missing a shot like that will make Craig's hair turn the color of yours and mine. We'll take a timeout. There's your score. Danny Ferry and the Blue Devils of Duke. Number 1 team in the country up against J.R. Reed and the Tar Heels of North Carolina. Dean Smith and Mike Krzyzewski face off. Dick Vitale, Mike Patrick. They'll have the game. It's live and it's next. But first, we got a dandy going.
2 big hitters going against one another down there, and right here, as enjoyable a half as I've seen this year, both clubs.
For the Friars, Marty Conlon, he's got 9. Eric Murdoch with 10. And Charles Smith with 15. Another 3.
Murdoch, they hugged the line.
Murdoch with 13.
A zone now. Alonzo's got to look over the other shoulder to the weak side.
Smith playing volleyball. Break for Georgetown there. Mourning with 2 more. He's got 3.
See if Georgetown stays at home on the shooters, lets the big guys play their own people. They try and drive. There it is, the reach in. Dwayne Bryant just over anxious, really. Had good position first. Tried to regain, but reached in. That's the area that Providence excels in. Turning the corner on the defense, trying to pull the other defender in a pinch move.
Mark Tillman, number 20, the 6'2 junior out of Washington, checks in.
There's the great reaction defensively to the one side, just about to do it to the other. A lot of guys only take one way from a dribbler. Georgetown effectively does it a number of ways.
Darrell Wright sits down with 2 points. Matt Palazzi checks back in with 6, hitting both of his 3-point tries. Conlon back out the screen. Conlon fires for 3 more. Mourning. Inside of 3 minutes and a 10-point Hoya deficit. Now down to 8 as Winston bangs it off the board.
Smitty really makes things happen. Look at this. They didn't protect the backcourt. Got away with it.
John Sedin. Tillman draws the foul and a chance for 3.
All of this is caused by not balancing the backcourt. Nobody helped Charles Smith. Let Murdoch get down the floor, even though Bryant had been guarding him. Charles was the nearest guy. The big guys didn't respond. Barnes' group took advantage.
That was just a lazy foul by Tillman.
Jensen Dean hooked that one from Staten Island, didn't he? He was all the way down on the floor.
Coming up at the half, John Thompson on Proposition 42. That's what all the commotion has been about. Top 20 and key game stories with John Saunders in a first half recap. And don't forget, Duke and North Carolina coming up after our game.
The zone, they're all looking to help out inside. Tough pass. Tough pass. That was more of a loop. Charles threw it between defenders. Can't do it. If he looped it up, may have been a basket. Herb Sendek there. Speaking of Proposition 42, he and his buddy Bill Shea put a book out called Education for Life. coaching and playing the attitude position, and it's all on basic skills and how to improve yourself.
Couldn't be more timely.
No,
right now.
perfect. I saw it during the summer at a camp, at 5-star camp.
Carlton's screen has 8.
And right back in your living room.
Jefferson has it taken away by screen. How quickly did he get back? Behind the back.
Good balance. Boy, good reaction back on the defense by the Hoyas. Nice block. I guess he got a piece. Screen and Murdoch. Nobody's going to write about either one individually as a superstar, but together they respond to one another. There's a feel, a flow, and right here, the open man. That's what's made, I believe, Providence a lot better. The extra pass.
I'll tell you, if Tillman got him, he got the fingernail.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't know about that one. A reaction call.
Eric Murdoch, the 6'2 sophomore out of Bridgewater, New Jersey, an 81% free throw shooter. And there, Chris Watts checks in. His grandmother from Milford, Connecticut, about an hour away.
Yeah, tuning in.
Two out of 3 for the line tonight. 14 points for Murdoch. 2 below his average, and he's got that in the first half. Bobby Winston checks in. Tillman gets arrested. Second, that was Sam Jefferson. Murdoch 3 out of 4 from the line. 15 points. 1:40 left to go.
Here's the passive thing. Little 1-2-1-1. Good check. Oh. And look at that. That is a great shot. Charles Smith, he could get locked up for that, right? Inadvertently trying not to fall to the floor. Gathered the trousers. That was cute. I think it was Marvin Sadler. This is exciting. Look at this. Just to make sure he doesn't fall. Oh. Oh. Any seat in a pinch.
Adler says, wait a minute.
Now Charles Smith gets you one way or the other, doesn't he? Runs the show for this club. He has really proven to be one of the great finds, I think, in the history of the Big East. Out of nowhere.
Smith single-handedly keeping Georgetown in this basketball game. A minute and a half left to go. A 12-point lead for the Friars. Biggest lead has been 14 twice.
They look on the baseline. They end up with some pick and rolls out here. The weave. Here's the weave.
28 on the shot clock. Friars are content. They've got a big lead. Palazzi is wide open.
Nice cut. Good pass.
Mourning comes down with it. Quickly to Smith. 1:05 left to go. Smith wants it. He'll take it. Tillman, a nice aggressive move to the board.
He made that play. Charles Smith came up empty. Mark Tillman with a great read.
Don't forget, coming up at halftime, John Thompson will talk about Proposition 42. That was a big miss by the Hoyas, Bill.
I don't know if they're going to slow it down. They're going to run some clock. I want to see this. I don't believe it. Yeah, that would have helped them. Nice play. A little late. I mean, Winston, aggressive. Hey, the nature of both clubs so similar. Reminiscent of that game 2 years ago when Providence played Georgetown in here and they went toe-to-toe in one of the great games in the history of the league.
Oh, that was a sensational game. Let's talk a little bit about halftime. The adjustments that Craig Esherick, the acting head coach, might have to make. He's got to sell his players on, all right, we lost the first half, but we can come back and win the second half. It's 2 different games.
I think he's going to have to say to Charles Smith, Charles, you keep doing what you're doing. Alonzo, we've got to get you involved in the game. We'll dump it to you if they come down and collapse and they roll around. Look to the wing or kick it back out. We'll come. Clubs don't trap as well the second and third time. A little more patience by Georgetown on the offensive end. I think that's all they have to do. And balance the floor, excuse me.
Palazzi with 8.
They've got to give Providence credit for the speed down the floor and get somebody back. They're giving away those easy baskets.
30 seconds to go. Do you like the strategy here? You're down 48-34.
Sure, because it's an open game. They can get a lot of points in a hurry. Being down 12, not bad at all. It could have been a blowout early.
You're down by 14, 48-34, and they're on their feet at the Providence Civic Center. A sellout crowd. Number 3, Georgetown, being beaten badly inside of 7.
Great play. Kick cross court.
Charles Smith.
Sensational set play. A double screen, and they go right over the top to Charles Smith. Well executed. Gets them right back at it.
A sensational first half for the Friars. They lead 48-37. We'll come back for the second half. Duke, North Carolina coming up. But let's go back to the studio and our host, John Saunders.
Thank you, gentlemen. For
JR and Danny Perry. There's the strip. Going from the corner.
3-point try.
Marty up big. He's sort of stretched out. That was a lateral jump by Conlon, who's done a marvelous job.
Bill, from a coaching standpoint, do you like your players to try three-pointers in the early going, either the first or the second half, before they really get warmed up?
Good post pass. Look at the pump fake.
Conlon rejected by Mourning.
Alonzo stayed on the floor. Both clubs like it any time of the game, Jim. The philosophy is if certain guys have it, take it.
Smith in and out of the bucket. Turner rejected by Foster, and Foster draws the foul. Second one on Cal.
Good pursuit of the basketball inside. John Turner. I was talking to Ed Spriggs before the game, talking about Turner. I said, is there anybody built as strong up top? He said, other than me. Ed Spriggs used to play for John Thompson. No, we haven't had anybody other than me. And, of course, John Turner.
John Turner, 6'7" sophomore out of Roosevelt High School in Glen Arden, Maryland, had 4 in the first half, a 55% free throw shooter. There's what he's done tonight. Rick Barnes going to his bench. Abdul Shamsuddin getting set to check in. While we have a chance talking about Rick Barnes, we wanted really to give credit to his staff. I mean, he's gotten a lot of credit off of this fast start for the Friars, but he said he really couldn't have done it without his staff. Everybody is pulled together.
And of course, last year, a tough year for Providence and Gordy Chiesa, who worked hard. Obviously frustrating for him. And yet, Barnes coming in and getting a group that had learned a lot by last season and molding them together. Good total effort.
Turner 1 for 2 from the line. He's got 5 points.
Let's see if they drive, draw, and dish.
The easy one by Shamsuddin, who just checked in. He's got 8.
And the pressure caused the turnover. Alonzo Mourning denied, and normally Georgetown reacts well and shuts that play off. Of course, the goal and then the press, turning the ball over.
Friars, by the way, have not lost this year when leading at the half. Murdoch, bad percentage shot. Conlon with a big board. Smith comes out of traffic. Around screen, around Murdoch to Bryant. Around Shamsuddin.
Oh, got hit. Boy, he turned on the afterburner. Brought the screen down, and that's a little tired foul. Don't forget, he plays a lot of minutes, and so they're looking for some air. You might see the passive press because Rick Barnes likes to keep them on the floor. That's how you get number 3 when you're a little tired.
Green's third, the junior out of Brooklyn. He's got 8 points. Shamsuddin, Mourning with a foul.
Still got the shot off. Well, let me tell you, Rick Barnes has sold everybody. Abdul Shamsuddin is not going to beat Ben Johnson or Carl Lewis, but he's getting them up and down, and Alonzo caught backtracking by the pressure of the running Friars.
Shamsuddin out of Staten Island, a 74% free throw shooter. 6'10" junior. Buries the first one. He's got 9. Talking about Rick Barnes right there, he said at practice he's a much different coach than he was a year ago. A year ago he was too hard on his players. He admitted that. He was too intense, and a couple of the assistants said, hey, back down just a little bit.
I think the great coaches adjust. He's on his way. Here's the passive press now. Give Screen and Murdoch a chance just to get a blow. Make Georgetown slow down just a tiny bit.
17:50 left to go, and 3-on-2. The Friars the other way. Murdoch to Screen. Bryant comes down with it.
Nobody back.
Charlie Smith's 21st point.
And who was out in front there? John Turner showing his foot speed.
Back to a 10-point Georgetown deficit.
Good back cut. And look who's there.
Mourning, and he didn't leave his feet. White tried to get him to jump.
He seldom does. That Charles Smith is cool hand Luke. Made a superior player. Great feel and composure.
Conlon.
Good follow. Charles Smith had fallen or they would have had a basket. Good save by Joe Bingo.
Joe had more Shamsuddin there than he ever wants to see. That's like Icky Woods coming through the offensive line of the Bengals, and you're just a little safety man.
And not too many dances after the field goal here, because you better get back. They're going to make you pay for it.
Mourning puts it on the floor, tries to back in, dishes to Jackson. Shamsuddin pulls it down.
I think they have to go back to Alonzo.
Green with a nice penetration. He's got 12. Check it, 10.
42.
And the lean left all the way. Atta baby Charles. I'll tell you, people ought to recognize how talented he is. Does anything they ask. Sherman Douglas not playing as well. He has to get shaped up for Syracuse. And right now, Charles Smith, as impressive as anybody I've seen at the point position.
Conlon right into the waiting arms of the Hoyas. Bryant to Smith. Oh, this is a one-man act.
Now Carlton Screen couldn't get back. He is really tired.
25 for Charles Smith. 25 of the 46 for Georgetown.
I mean, he's doing it all alone. Alonzo not on his game. Nice play. A little bump low. Shamsuddin then using the rim to protect from number 33, Alonzo Mourning.
12 for Abdul. At the 15-minute mark, back to a 10-point lead for the Friars. This is a big trip down for Georgetown.
Well, I think they've got to go into the big guy. He's moving away from the ball as it goes one way. He's on the other side now. They ought to bring it around to him.
I'll tell you, Turner is tired in the middle. He's huffing and puffing like a tired racehorse.
Look at this rebound. He went all the way from a pick and roll position, sliding down, anticipating the miss.
Mourning was 7.
Well, what a test of heart this evening.
For both teams.
Oh, absolutely. Now Mourning a little lazy here. Let him post up. The denial was lacking and caused the foul. He didn't space properly, didn't deny, and occasionally freshmen will do this. He's now relying on his ability to block shots. All he had to do was three-quarter and make the ball come in from the wing.
Mourning sits down. He sits down with 7. He's picked up his 3rd foul. Shamsuddin has gone to the line. He's had one of the hot hands for the Friars here in the second half.
You're going to enjoy him for quite a long time. Alonzo Mourning, everything they said is true. Tonight, not as big a factor as he will be most evenings, but such a presence on the floor can change your whole offensive flow.
Not to dwell on the absence of John Thompson, but Alonzo Mourning, just a youngster, just a freshman. How much would he miss the presence of John here in terms of maturity and talking to him on the sideline?
Probably more so. What do you think of it? Because he would be talking to Charles Smith about what do you think we should run or what I think you should run. With Mourning, it would be more of a, look for this, make sure you do this, that type of thing. With little subtle things that only a big guy would know.
At the 14-minute mark, 57-48 Providence.
Inside bumps, good ball reversal right now. Georgetown not denying that wing pass. It's getting around the horn too easy. This is almost a turnover sequence. They're down to 25 seconds.
Screen outside. Winston will not let him in.
little bit of a force. And a kick.
13:38. They're on their feet at the Civic Center, and why not? Providence big. There's our scores. We welcome you back to Providence. How about front court scoring?
Look at the inside screen by Conlon, the mix-up, the great use of the rim. It doesn't take much to mess up with those inside screens if you don't talk, slide, and occasionally switch. And look at the vast difference right there. Incredible. And going in, you'd have to worry about Providence inside game.
Shamsuddin, 7 over his season average. Points off the bench. The Hoyas 4. The Friars 15.
And Craig Esherick right now with what I think is a good move. They're behind. He's giving Charles Smith a chance to get a blow. Dwayne Bryant, plenty of time. Good feel for the game right now. And of course the mix, the 1-3-1, a change after the timeout.
Craig might want to have a cellular phone to JT right now.
Not a bad idea.
Conlon wide open right around the big guy.
Boy, that zone did not react well at all. The point man and the foul line man did not get down to deny the pass.
There is the 6'11 sophomore, Billy, the second foul on Mutumbo.
This is not typical Georgetown defensive reaction. And they certainly pay for it.
Marty Conlon on the line, shooting 2.
Marty Conlon, 9 points all in the first half for the junior out of Bronxville, New York. Stepanek High School.
Well, his life turned around. He was going to leave the school. Rick Barnes' best recruiting job, to my mind, was getting Marty Conlon to stay here. He had stayed in school academically. Was not going to play anymore. And, of course, turned out great for both of them.
11 points for Conlon, 58-48, back to a 10-point lead for the Friars. Here's a 2-on-2.
Good hesitation.
Tillman, and he gets the foul.
Shamsuddin frozen by the heads-up play. All of these guards have some ability. Mark Tillman right there in the middle. Mutumbo, you love him to get it and deliver, but there, that little hesitation, the burst by, the soft delivery.
The 6'2 junior out of Washington, a 63% free throw shooter. Didn't have any points in the first half. Chance to pull the Hoyas to within 7. Rick Barnes goes to his bench. Matt Palazzi checks back in. Eric Murdoch checks back in. Watts gets a rest and Wright sits down. There he is on April 22nd of '87. He was an assistant at Ohio State. 1 year later, he was seated between the Reverend John Cunningham and John Murato, the director of athletics, about to be introduced as the head basketball coach of the Friars.
Man to man, Georgetown. The old post
right around Bell.
Now that's what he learned. Now let's see the rule. If anybody threw a punch, they will be suspended from the game with a technical foul. Nobody left the bench, only the head coach.
Now, Conlon was ready to throw the punch, but I don't think that the foul was as severe as Marty thought. He just got decked. He got hit by 2 of the Hoyas.
Really
and he was
unnecessary. He's given some tough fouls earlier, too. You can't give it, not expect it back.
Yeah, he was a little quick on the trigger there. Here it is.
Right here.
He'll get hit twice.
I think he's more frustrated about missing. Of course, the giveaway from the rear and the reaction. I mean, when you play with men, you're going to get banged around a little bit. Great job by the officials, not only there, but in this pace game. I mean, it's tough for them to miss a call. The play's going the other way before they get the whistle out or up.
Jimmy Higgins going to drop a few pounds tonight. 2-shot foul. Conlon has regained his composure.
Right here, you can check this out. You're out of the game, the first fight, the second fight, a 1-game suspension, letter goes to the commissioner, and of course after that, 1 more, you're out for the season and the NCAA tournament. So there'll be communication between the referees and the league offices. Great play here.
It's a track meet.
Give this man some oxygen. Colton Scream with the great give off. The finish, and look at this youngster. Sensational effort.
Oop, and a chance for a three-point play.
Well, Carlton Screen with a great steal, but look at the strength of Eric Murdoch. Screen controlling the play to the last possible moment so that the play would be completed. I just can't get over the energy level. Carlton Screen on the floor practically the whole evening. Extraordinary effort on both ends, and usually you'll rest on the defense.
Murdoch with 15 points. Big trip for the Hoyas. Jackson. He's got 8.
They're hanging right there. Look at this. Nobody back.
61-53 at the 12-minute mark, and the Hoyas clawing their way back into this game. 15 turnovers against Georgetown.
Inside
11.
screen. There's the big guy. Excuse me, Jim.
11 for the Friars. Oh, nice. Jackson has hit 2 in a row. He's got 10. This is as close as Georgetown's bench since the early moments of this game to within 6.
A nice feel for the game by the bench of Georgetown. The coaches very composed. Got some people rested. Switched to D.
And they made this little run without Mourning, who's back in there now. Screen.
And fresh guards.
Conlon tries to get around Turner.
3 seconds almost. Foot was in there.
Shot clock says 10.
They're not used to this.
Screen, dribble off his foot.
Turner with a little help. Boy, John bailed them out. They were in deep trouble.
6th team foul against Georgetown. There is Craig Esherick, a 78 Georgetown graduate, 4-year letterman for John Thompson, 82 graduate of Georgetown Law School. Man in a hot spot tonight.
Hey, you start thinking about being a lawyer in games like this, don't you?
11 minutes left to go in regulation. Duke, top-ranked Blue Devils, up against North Carolina next.
Conlon.
Oh, Conlon, what a board. Slapped away by Turner. Down low, Chastadine traveled with it.
Good call.
Timmy Higgins right on top of it. The 12th turnover against the Friars. 10:47 to go.
Talked about hard earlier. Right now, seeing a big one exposed by Georgetown.
And Charles Smith has been quiet lately.
Yep. Here's the passive pressure.
Turner triple team now. Gets it out to Bryant. Smith is free, doesn't take it.
Man-to-man. Collapsing when they have to. Right now, playing straight up.
Mourning back on the bench.
Boy, Screen playing that right hand of Charles Smith. Ooh. I don't know if they needed that one.
Bad shot selection by Mutumbo.
That offense, good call, too. Carlton tried to take it on his own.
We've got 10:09 left to go. Back-to-back turnovers by the Providence Friars. They led at the half, 48-37, an 11-point lead for the Friars. 61-55 our score now. Screen with his 4th foul. We're coming to you live from the Providence Civic Center. They have jammed in. No tickets available. And, of course, we've got #1 Duke up against North Carolina. Big battle. Mike Krzyzewski and the Blue Devils. Danny Ferry and company up against Dean Smith, J.R. Reed and the Tar Heels. Mike Patrick, Dick Vitale sitting down courtside. Vitale autographing his book and getting ready.
Those palms have to be wet. First the 1-2-2 to passive. Now they got Mourning.
Back in there. Double team. Throws it to no one. Foul on Wright.
On the pass. You know, you talk about Screen. He charged Charles Smith. Good position.
Big Monday. Louis Carnesecca, St. John's the Redmen against Georgetown. Will John Thompson come back? I don't think so.
Well, we'll see. It looks like there's some progress being made, though.
Big Monday. Oh!
Big Alonzo. Forget Big Monday. Charles soft enough with the delivery, though, so the offensive rebound was a soft one.
3 in the first half for the freshman, 6 in the second. He's got 9, and it's a 4-point lead for the Friars. Conlon. Ooh.
Shot's not as easy right now.
Rejected by Mourning. Here's a 2-on-1. Smith. Charles Smith.
That's a layup. Major league stroke right now by Smitty.
27 of the 59 for the senior.
Bill Russell blocked by Alonzo Mourning. Soft starts the break.
9:09 to go, and this one's tightening up.
But look at the floor, and Alonzo Mourning staying down the soft swat. And right now, with Tillman filling the lane, the defense had to be honest, and Charles Smith nailing it.
Smith, 11 of 21 from the field. He's got 26. Mourning now 9 points, 11 rebounds, and 5, count them, 5 block shots. Inside, Conlon gets free, double team. That's a three-pointer, and that's the freshman again, Alonzo Mourning with a board. They can tie. Twice, Providence has built up a 14-point lead. It was 11 at the half.
Chris Watson now as Murdoch lets Bryant go right by him. No help.
61 all at the 8:35 mark.
What a turnaround. Now the shots get tougher. Back in it, it's a ball game. Tough shot. Ooh.
Conlon, nice board, takes it inside, tries to draw the foul, right with a fadeaway.
Jaron Jackson with the foul. So showing their mettle right now, right here. Marty Conlon hasn't converted a lot of these, but he's been in the middle. Great effort on his part. And of course, Wright able to finish the thing off. Darrell in the right spot.
Rick Barnes said at practice this morning, we are not a good offensive rebound team. To be a great team, we have to improve. Well, right there, Darrell Wright, they took a big step in that direction. Crashed the boards. Jackson, with his 4th personal foul, gets a rest.
I think the key right now for Providence is how Chris Watts plays. If he can just stay in the flow, guard his guy. Murdoch can't gamble defensively. Esherick just turned Bryant into an easy layup.
3-point play. Darrell Wright, the senior out of Cardinal Hayes High School in New York City. Friars lead it by 3, 8:19 to go.
And Rick Barnes with Palazzi because they need another shooter out there. With Carlton's screen on the Pines, they need some deep threat. 1-2-2.
Craig Esherick counters with Winston, Tillman, Smith, Mourning, and John Turner.
Now Winston's a good passer. Because Mourning will attract most of the attention, but don't forget Charles Smith, either with the deep shot or the penetration. Winston should keep his dribble and go right to the elbow, forcing 2 people to play, and he can get the ball to the corner.
Great battle underneath with Sadler 55 and Alonzo Mourning.
Bobby's too far from the defense.
Shot clock says 7.
There's the kick. Good play.
What poise, what poise.
Composure. Extraordinary ability to remain. Winston with a great effort. Not a heads-up play by Sadler. You don't want him with the ball in the back against pressure.
The first time that the Hoyas have led in the basketball game.
Little disorganized without Carlton's screen there. Trying to get people in the right spots. Man-to-man Georgetown.
Ooh, he almost traveled Palazzi. Stadler. Oh, buries it from the line. His first 2 of the night. What a time to drill it. Friars by 1, 6:45.
Still the 1-2-2. They're looking to pass and go through. Here goes Winston through. Now Charles is tough out here. He's the guy that takes it to the zone with the dribble.
Tillman for 3.
Look
Turner, big board.
Charles Smith anticipated as well as John Turner.
Turner is dripping wet. A lot of minutes. Hard minutes.
The guards have to go down and play. The outside man should step right in. They're going down the baseline to play the cutter.
Bobby Winston in and out of the hoop. Sadler pulls it down.
Terrific shot, though.
Good ball movement by the Friars. Tillman pulls it down. Palazzi threw it on a rope.
Up big, Major League. Well, they want Palazzi to shoot whenever he wants. He's got the green light. Boy, would his father love to play in that situation, old Togo?
I'm talking about John Turner. He looks like a dripping faucet. Charles Smith, he's got 29 points. Look like he just got off the bus.
Great feel for the game, I'm telling you. He just seems to respond whenever they need a particular play. He'll come up with it, whether it's the pass, the penetration, or the jumper.
There's the shot clock and the game clock. Hoyas have to hurry now. Tillman on the drive. Around Palazzi. Palazzi fouls him.
The reach down. Aggressive play with the dribble.
5:10 to go. First-year coach Rick Barnes.
And Marty Conley getting a blow, too. He certainly needs one. That screen's got to play without fouls and run the offense. So that negates some of the gambling. He's very creative in that press.
Conlon sits down, 42, Jonathan Edwards. 6'9" senior out of New Orleans. First time we've seen him in the second half. Tillman goes to the stripe. Mark, a 63% free throw shooter. 2 out of 3 from the line tonight. All square, 66 all.
Washington City kid out of Gonzaga. Well thought of. They have some terrific perimeter people to complement, and this is one of them.
His playing time way down from a year ago.
Well, they have so many people out there, you can see why.
3 out of 4 from the line. Back to a 1-point Georgetown lead.
Think of Winston and Jaron Jackson, Dwayne Bryant. I mean, they've had a lot of good people. Obviously, Charles Smith.
Friars don't look rattled.
Great
Tillman
play.
slaps it away. Winston to Smith. One-on-one against screen. Thompson in his back. Charles pulls it up.
Good yank right there. Charles knew he didn't have it.
How about the job Craig Esherick has done, down by 14 a couple of times in the face of this sellout crowd on the road. John Thompson not here.
I think part of that is preparation, too. I mean, they're used to it. They've been in games like this. But you're right. I think the bench has reacted in a terrific way. The switching defenses, and also the substitutions.
The number 3 ranked team in the country. Charles Smith for 3 more. 32 points.
I've seen him play some great games. This has to rank as the best. Man-to-man.
The number 1 ranked team, the Duke Blue Devils, waiting in the wings to take on North Carolina. That game will be live and next with Mike Patrick and Dick Vitale. Don't leave your seat.
Little weave, they just switch it.
Palazzi missed on his last. He's missed on this one. And look at the aggression on the boards there. Edwards double teams and pulls it down. Friars now trail by 4. 3:45 left.
Man-to-man, the switch from the bench. Good play. Good play. Bobby Winston committed with the shoulder. Called the screen with the gamble. He knew they needed the ball back.
The poise of that man. 3:39 left. This one's a barn burner.
It's the newest subdivision in Durham, North Carolina. A tent city housing well over 1,000 students who are waiting for tickets to tonight's game. They started camping out 8 days ago, led by the most fanatic of all.
Hey, this is what I've been waiting for, baby. This is not Cupcake Classic. This is the real thing. Surf and turf. North Carolina and Duke. I can't wait, baby. I can't wait.
They are going crazy down there, those Blue Devil fans. I did a game down there with Dick. They just love him when he walks into the arena about 2 hours before the game.
Almost got it. Mark Tillman very alert. Very fortunate for Providence. Well, they got the right guy down there. If those fans are what you would term nuts.
There's one guy that wears a hoop on his head. It's like a hoop hat. Of course, they paint their faces blue over there in the student section. In the one game, remember, they passed Vitale all the way up? Should have left him there.
Nothing fell out of the pants either, I'm sure. He holds on to those dollars pretty good.
Alligator arms. 3:30 left to go in this one. Providence trails by 3 now as Murdoch connects from the line. He's got 3 in the second half, 13 in the first.
If you're going to see big plays by Providence, it's going to be screen and Murdoch. Carlton Screen got the ball back with the step in and the charge at half court. And, of course, the deuce now. They need something out of their press. And Georgetown obviously has to value the basketball. And, if anything, get it to Charles Smith. He'll make the right judgment.
Friars on the short end by 2. They've led by 14. They were up by 11 at halftime. The Hoyas, the number 3 ranked team without John Thompson, boycotting Proposition 42. For how long?
Nice.
Nobody knows. Mourning doesn't take it inside. They'll work on the clock.
Pretty responsible by the freshman. Here's the spread. They're going to let it run down. Only 2-point game. It's going to be tough to communicate with the noise and run the right thing. They're down to 10 now. Man to man. See if they get a good shot out of it, Georgetown. Double screen for Charles.
Bryant might be too late.
Violation. They got a violation before. They missed it. They got a violation before the foul. The 45-second shot had gone off.
No question about it. It was 2 seconds over the violation.
They really should go to the timer.
The shot clock had already gone back to 40.
Yes.
There were 44 seconds on the shot clock when the foul was called.
Let's see if we can see the clock up top.
Right there, the shot clock had reloaded, and there were 44 seconds.
That is a shame.
They were 2 seconds over the violation when the foul was called.
That's one time where the crowd got into it and hurt the home team, but you have to hand it the patience of Georgetown. They got it to John Turner. If he hadn't fumbled, he may have converted quick enough.
Turner, 2 out of 4 from the line with 6 points. Hoyas lead it by 3. Tripping foul on Turner. Or Smith. Smith had his ankle stepped on.
And he's hurt a little bit. They can't afford him to go out.
2:33 left to go.
It's funny in games, the players sometimes react when they shouldn't. Georgetown really has Providence on the ropes, not running good half-court stuff, and they put them on the foul line twice now, a distance from the basket without running anything. And it really doesn't make sense, but that's what happens when guys get into the flow, get into the game.
Carlton Screen, the junior out of Brooklyn, 2 points in the second half. He had 6 in the first, a 69% free throw shooter. He's 3 out of 3 tonight. And that man, Rick Barnes, told us how many free throws do they shoot at practice every day?
Well, in 300 shots, at least 100 free throws. But 300 three-pointers, 300 inside shots.
Charles Smith sits down.
He won't be out long.
32 points for the senior.
They do shoot instructionally during the day free throws. So as many as you can get in a half hour or 50 minutes before your next class.
If he makes it, the lead is just 1. Oh, this is one cool customer.
He's playing with 4. Let's see if he gambles. Steal. The trap. Marty Conlon's not letting him see the floor. Now he closes. The 3-man slides in, intercepts, and hangs. Great execution. A lot of drilling goes into just that sequence.
Bad foul by Winston. Murdoch to the line again. Esherick, the 6'2 sophomore out of Bridgewater, New Jersey. 6 out of 6 from the line tonight.
That pass should not have gone back that way. Should have gone to the middle or down the sideline. And, of course, great reaction by Providence. Georgetown paid for it.
Still a 1-point game. If he makes this, we're all square at 71 all. Georgetown tied it at 8:35. Don't forget, the 13th ranked Tar Heels, the number 1 ranked Blue Devils of Mike Krzyzewski next with Mike Patrick and Dick Vitale. 2:29 to go. We're tied 71 all. The press. basket.
Jaren Jackson.
2:13 to go. We'll come back with Providence back by 2. The first sign of greatness from the Friars in '87 was when Pitino and Providence stood up to Georgetown.
Well, I was just glad at half court I didn't get into a fight with John Thompson. I was looking up at his navel, and that's about how high I came onto his stomach. And it turned out to be a shot at the buzzer, a three-point shot. And I think that put us on the map at that point in time and gave us the impetus to go on to the Final Four.
Pop Lewis was the main man on January 28, 1987. There's our score. Rick Pitino, of course, now the head coach of the New York Knicks. He was on the David Letterman program the other night. John Thompson's still around as the coach of the Hoyas, but that chair is absent. The one with the towel draped over in the back. The famous John Thompson towel. The foul on Jackson. He fouls out with 10 points now, and Screen goes to the line. Carlton Screen.
The press has been very effective, has rattled Georgetown, and Charles Smith hasn't touched it in any of the sequences, and that's really the problem.
Bill, the last 3 times the Hoyas have had the ball, they've turned the ball over for a total of 19. Back to a 3-point lead for the Friars.
You might see Charles Smith get it about the top of the key and start a break for Georgetown if they can execute properly against the press.
Carlton 5 for 5 from the line tonight. A 4-point lead for Providence.
Well, they got a perfect spot to trap. They got it to the right guy. Trip. They got Murdoch. Well, you got to get it to Charles. Let him create. Let him ignite.
Ankle healed quickly, didn't it?
Well, I knew he wouldn't be out for long, but it's amazing. And I guess it happens with a lot of clubs. You've got a guy like Charles Smith, and all of a sudden guys will do it on their own instead of responding to him and then letting him finish the play for them.
An 81% free throw shooter. There's what he's done tonight. 13 of 23 from the field. Perfect from the stripe.
Jump ball.
Arrow says Georgetown.
They got to be careful of the loop now. Providence, and you might see Charles Smith getting a corner jumper out of it. Good lean in. Oh!
This one might ice the win for Providence.
Do you think he's pretty good in the open floor? Bryant barely touching him, but the nudge enough to get the attention of the official. They give it to him and let him make the judgments. And tonight and many nights this year, they've been good ones.
A 6-point lead, 1:45 to go in the basketball game. Number 1 Duke against number 13 North Carolina coming up next.
A lot of time, though, here for Georgetown.
They have to get a basket here, though. Bryant for 3.
And of course, now it's 3.
He's got 5 on the night.
They should deny everybody else now when Conlon had the ball.
Let's see if they'll spread it out.
They're going to run their stuff for a good one. They run a weave and occasionally a pick and roll up high.
That's the game clock. Shot clock says 18.
Here's the weave.
10 on the shot clock.
Well, he didn't have to save it. What a play by Smith.
Oh! And a chance for 3 for Georgetown. The foul on Murdoch.
Charles Smith.
What a save.
Never gave up on it.
And at the other end.
Well, Dwayne Bryant didn't have to save it. It was their ball. But look at this. Just gorgeous. It ends up being an assist, in essence, off a Carlton screen.
The Hoyas can tie up the game if Bobby Winston can connect. The 6'5" senior out of All Saints High School in Washington.
And the timeout now to make Bobby think a little bit. Of course, Rick Barnes has to talk about a missed free throw, what he wants, and then analyze the press that Georgetown's liable to throw. Providence virtually could hold it for the last one. I do not think Georgetown will let him.
30 seconds ago, the Hoyas trailed by 6. Now they can come back and tie. What a game this has been.
Well, the three-point does a lot of that. This is the strategy. Now you can make some decisions if you're Providence, 2 to play with, depending on who is ahead or not. But I've got to think Georgetown, on a made now, will play man-to-man full with pressure and maybe try and double up and cause a loop type of pass, and then, of course, run down under it.
Seconds left to go. The Hoyas trail by 1. They were down by 11 at the half, 48-37. Twice Providence built up 14-point leads. Charles Smith has been a one-man wrecking crew here tonight for Georgetown.
Can't say enough for Mike Riley and Craig Esherick. They've got every ounce of energy. And of course, the Blues Brothers, Anthony, believe it, he's got a legitimate job. In the daytime.
As what?
In the diamond business, they say.
A diamond cutter. Bobby Winston can tie the game with his free throw.
They're going to have to trap. Good trap, and now they may get a steal.
There it is. Open man. Winston doesn't take it.
What composure. They've got one left. Man-to-man Providence. They use it.
77-76. The Friars lead. They had the basketball. Great trap by Georgetown.
Can you believe the preparation by this Georgetown team to think on the miss? They took advantage of the trap. Normally you need a dead ball, a free throw, a timeout to get this set. Just gorgeous. And the rotation by Tillman. Yes, it was thrown off with the anticipation of going out of bounds, but Mark Tillman stepped in as the three-man in the right place for a pass if it happened.
And who was the man that helped force the turnover? The freshman. He didn't draw the foul. Ordinarily, a freshman might be a little over-anxious. Slapped. He didn't do it.
How impressive was it for Bobby Winston to bring the basketball out, look at the floor, look to the bench, and get the timeout?
Now, Craig Esherick, he played 4 years for John Thompson. He knows the philosophy. What do you do in a case like this? Do you wait for the last shot?
Well, I think he'll go for a good one early. As you see the free throw shooting, that could play an important part. I think they'll run their set if it's man-to-man, try and get something to Mourning and then the dump back out, or you'll see the penetration, Charles Smith back on the floor.
26 seconds to go in this big battle in the Big East. The Friars up by 14 twice. They led by 11 at the half, but it's Georgetown ball. They're down by 1.
They had to hurry up the inbounds on that second warning. Oh, they're going to wait for the end. The spread, 3-2.
It's almost like kicking a field goal on third down, Bill. You don't want to wait too long, though. You don't want to be rushed with that last shot. Smith will take it.
Timeout, Providence. Look at Smitty. Well, it might as well be him. He's done everything else tonight.
33 points for the senior.
Oh.
A 1-point lead for Georgetown. Another look.
In the corner, the great ability to shoot sets up the penetration, the slide down, and in traffic, on the money. Look at this little guy. Sensational performance all evening. You mentioned how cool under the gun. And he was out at the top setting up the four-corner initially. Hit, went down and through. He still complained about his ankle. He may be out in this defensive set. He's up. They're not going to keep him out.
The players were all in the huddle, but Mike Riley and Craig Esherick, John Thompson's 2 assistants, were about 10 feet back. They were having just a one-on-one conversation.
A little discussion. They were saying, now what would John do here? And if it's wrong, I'm going to tell him you recommended it.
5 seconds left to go. Providence will have the basketball. They trail by 1.
I believe they have one timeout, so you may see them look to get it to half court for the next timeout. They obviously have to go long if they're not going to use the timeout. They may run people up and then back. Shamsuddin down at the far end out of camera view.
Conlon. Timeout.
They got it with one.
So it'll come down to one shot. The Hoyas, if they win, go to 3-1 in the Big East, and there'll be a tie atop the standings.
I have seen a lot of these types of games. Never the give and take, the getting up off the floor of either club, the resiliency, the reaction to the bench. Just a great effort. Right now, you've got to think they're all looking for an outside shot, no question, because they're predominantly a deep shooting team. I've got to think they've got to run some down screens to pop a guy up to the top or to the ball side, let him square up and shoot. The only other possibility is a back screen on the foul line and throwing it towards the basket. Now, Jim, think of this. If you throw it off the glass and then catch it, it's a legal play, and the clock does not start until the man touches it. So that's one potential thing, too. So I've got to think it's going to be a jump shot of sorts, although Murdoch is taking it off. You may see some back screens, Palazzi in the near side for a jump shot.
And Murdoch will inbounds. They've got the 6'10 freshman Mourning on him. 1 second to go. It'll just be one shot.
No more.
They couldn't inbound.
They had one. I don't think so. Let's see. That should be a technical. That's a technical foul. They use, let's see. They've got more than the 4. It's a technical. We had it right.
Technical foul against Providence. They were out of timeouts. Murdoch unaware of it, and that will do it.
Eliminates. They get the timeout, and then they get a chance. 2 shots plus the ball. So for all intent and purpose, it is now over, kid. What is that? Deaden the building.
Over 15,000, and you can hear a pin drop in here now.
Well, Murdoch over here looked around, couldn't get it in.
Timmy Higgins has explained it to Rick Barnes.
Hey, you can't argue.
Don't forget, number 1 Duke, Mike Krzyzewski, the Blue Devils, Danny Ferry et al. Take on J.R. Reed, the Tar Heels, and Dean Smith. Mike Patrick and Dick Vitale courtside to bring it to you. What a great night of basketball right here. Now the 2-shot foul, or the technical foul, Charles Smith. He's got 33 on the night.
Now the bench must have had it wrong, because I saw them looking. Rick looked at one of the coach's numbers. They were sure they had one. Well, Smitty, you might as well ice it.
The 35th point.
What an evening. As good as I've seen in the league. I've seen some great ones from Patrick.
It's all over.
It is history. Great job.
Charles Smith ends up with a basketball. 35 points on the night. He hit what turned out to be the game winner with just 4 seconds left to go. For Bill Raftery, I'm Jim Kelly saying so long from Providence. Now, number 13, North Carolina takes on number 1 Duke.